So you want to know the top 7 reasons not to move to Florida? Well, stick around because on this video, we're going to get to it right away. My name is June Kranick, and on this channel, we do videos every single week of what it's like to live in Orlando and Central Florida in general. So if that's the information that you want to need, well, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below so that you're notified every time we do a new video. We have people reaching out to us week over week, and my team and myself, we are honored beyond belief. So if you're thinking about moving to Orlando or Central Florida, well then shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, however you wish to connect, because we got you covered when it comes to moving to Orlando and Central Florida. A lot of people really glamorize moving to Florida or Florida in general. And you know, I feel at first I really didn't want to do this video because I'm like, gosh, it sounds so negative. But the irony of it all is any video that I do, pros and cons or reasons not to, do the best. People want to know the not so good. It just is. And I grew up in Florida. I am from Florida. I have grown up in this crazy state that everyone and their sister seems to want to move to. And so I'm gonna go from number 7 all the way down to number 1. So make sure you stick around for the entire video so you know exactly the main reason you should really consider not moving to Florida. Believe it or not, number 7 is sun damage. It may sound crazy. I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, there wasn't even sunscreen. I sound really old. Well, I kind of am. But like, there wasn't any sunscreen. Like, there was no sunscreen. And we used to put on baby oil and lay on a silver mat to make sure we got all the rays. In my generation, doesn't that sound crazy? Cher was out. Everybody was super tan. If you look at celebrities in the 80s, they're all dark. They've got tans. That was what was in. And nobody said, don't go in the sun. My mom used to take us to the beach every Saturday, every Sunday, week over week over week over week. We were out in the sun all the time. And she never said, kids, you might need to cover up, okay? So then as you get older, moles start to pop up and form on you. And now it's not like, what the heck? Now it's like, call the dermatologist, because it more than likely is skin cancer. And I know it sounds terrible, but it's the truth. If you come to Florida, get sunscreen. Sunscreen is your friend. You will still get a tan, but it will keep you from getting lesions and bumps and moles that don't look right, that have to be taken out. And let me tell you what, when they take a mole out of you, they're not trying to make you look cute. They're trying to make sure that it doesn't spread. So, sorry, I'm really on a tangent about this. You know, when they dig something out of you, they leave like a gaping hole. So, that is the number 7 reason why you really need to think long and hard about Florida is sun damage and skin cancer. Number 6, it's getting crowded. With the whole pandemic, which I'm more than tired of hearing about the pandemic. I'm overly tired of hearing anytime I go someplace, oh, we don't have that on the menu anymore because of COVID. Like, that's just like been the excuse du jour. And I know it was a real thing, don't misunderstand me. But everybody and their sister has said, let's move to Florida. I don't understand it. I do know that a lot of people now can work from home. And so instead of freezing to death in Michigan or Minnesota, not that either one of those places are terrible, people that have been freezing their whole lives want to be warm. People that are warm their whole lives, like myself, like to be cool. I don't know, we all want what we don't have. So I know a lot of people have relocated, and there was a time during this whole pandemic where cold weather was considered more risky. So people wanted to come down to Florida, even though we were like the peach tree of the United States. I mean, it was crazy. So it is getting crowded. Now in Orlando in general, which is where I live, I want you to hear this, that in 2021, still pandemic time, 118 million people visited this city. That's a lot of people, 118 million. It is the highest tourist number we've ever had. So 118 million in 2021 is a lot of bodies. And it's not just Orlando that tourists come to. And you know what? We built everything in Florida on tourists. So please do not take this personal. But there are tourists that want to go to, you've got snowbirds that want to go to Sarasota, they want to go to West Palm Beach, they want to go to Fort Lauderdale, they want to go to Clearwater. The place is crowded, people. So we feel it. We feel that it's getting crowded. And I guess our motto in Florida is the more the merrier. But if you are not big on crowds, you might want to think about not moving to Florida. Number 5, and I hate to bring this up, is it's a bit swampy in areas. There is something real that hangs out in swamps. They're called alligators. And there's a lot of critters here. Now, I want to be fair. When I moved to Virginia, I was shocked at how many critters they have up there. The only critter that I thought was super cute was chipmunks. Do you know, I didn't even know a chipmunk was a real thing. I thought it was like an animated thing. Yeah, that's a blonde moment. But anyway, we have a lot of critters. We have lizards, which I'm a huge fan of lizards now. Lizards kill flies and mosquitoes, and they're cute and they bother nobody, but they will freak you out. Now, I'm not talking about iguana. I'm talking about cute little lizards. Now, I will say when I first moved in this house, one day I found a mud puppy in my backyard. Do you know what a mud puppy is? It is a fish with legs. This is what nightmares are made of. This is some ancient aliens stuff, some prehistoric stuff that kept me awake for some time. And the next day, a salamander came in my house. And I can handle a lizard, I cannot handle a salamander. Now, I had to have the community construction manager come to my house to get rid of the mud puppy, and the next day to get rid of the salamander, and I was considering selling my home and moving to dry land because I was completely freaked out. And he said it's because when the dirt gets moved, critters come up. And my home is right next to a water retention pond, where this little mud puppy came flip-flopping into my backyard. And I'd like to show a picture of a mud puppy to freak you out too. So yeah, and they're perfectly harmless. They just look so scary if you're not afraid of reptiles. So there are things here. Now, there are mosquitoes, but there were more mosquitoes to me up in Virginia than there is in Florida. And I never see a bug in my house because I get my bug exterminator done on a consistent basis, and I never throw sugary, delicious, bug attracting food into my trash can. That was taught to me from my mother, Betsy Kranick. So I always say thanks to Betsy. So this is a thing to think about. Now, my clients have a tendency to be like, I don't want to move because there's alligators. There are not alligator sightings everywhere. People will tell you there are, but there aren't. Like, they're just not walking around. They're just not. You're going to see a lot more lizards. Like, lizards are everywhere. Get used to them. They're cute. I'm telling you, they're really not. And they don't try to, they don't attack you. So they just want to be left alone too. I actually have a lizard that hangs out on my ring. So it chimes my ring about 75 times a day. That's a little annoying. But anyway, there are not alligators everywhere. They're here, but I have a healthy fear of an alligator. I stay the heck away from alligator areas. We used to, as kids, go down with a flashlight and we would go to certain areas and you could see the green eyes. Freak you out. But that's when you're a kid and you're stupid and you don't realize that, things can kill you. But there are not a lot of alligators. They're not walking across the street. Sometimes it's just, if it's your number, it's your number. Please forgive me for saying that, but you know, it is what it is. So you can also, you know, have something terrible happen to you on a ride. But anyway, that's another reason why is reptiles and critters and swampy things in Florida. Next thing is Florida drivers. Woo! We have a hodgepodge of people that think that driving is like the Daytona 500. I can't say that I am a super slow driver. I feel I'm a cautious driver, but Florida drivers are a lot. Now, I want to say, my Florida people, our Florida drivers are a hodgepodge of people from other areas like New York. Did I say that? New York and DC and California, and we got a little bit of everybody. Now, also in areas like Clearwater or more St. Pete, there's some of the older drivers. And, you know, God forbid I say that because I'm getting there, you know, I'm gonna be there sooner rather than later. So Florida drivers are a bit of a nightmare. Now, I will say, when I lived in DC, I can't say that I've ever experienced anything quite like that. I've never lived in New York. I'm sure it's worse. DC drivers were no joke. They were like, I mean, it was like people would hit your car and not even pull over. They just keep going. So we have a little bit of everybody, and everybody's in a hurry. And so Florida drivers are another reason why, if you like the open space and peace and quiet, maybe Florida's not for you. If you're getting any value out of this video, do me a favor and hit that like button and comment below and tell me what is the reason why you would not move to Florida, or what would be the reason why you would move to Florida. Coming in at number 3 is climate change. I don't know what side of the aisle you sit on. Doesn't matter to me. We all need to live in harmony. People say climate change. Other people say it's a hoax. What I do know is that the sea level is rising, whether it's a hoax or not. Now, it's something to think about when you're in a state that is surrounded by water. So climate change is alive and real. At least that's what it looks like from scientists, not June Kranick, but scientists. So if it's something that, you know, you're a little freaked out about, maybe stay in higher land, maybe stay away from this type of area. And also something to consider are hurricanes. I don't like talking about hurricanes because they're just part of the dealio. Just like moving to California, which I think California is fabulous. Earthquakes or mudslides or, you know, fires, major fires. So every area has its thing of natural disasters. We have been fortunate as the last couple of years, we haven't had any hurricane stuff. It's just something that you learn to live with. I do not get freaked out when the news starts with the rhetoric because they love to scare everybody. And everyone runs to Home Depot and buys all of the plywood and all of the water and all of the generators. So yeah, hurricanes are less of a worrisome issue than you might think. But when you don't live here, it scares you to death. So it's another reason why you might want to consider, if hurricanes are really scary to you, that you wouldn't want to move to Florida and or climate change. Number 2, prices are definitely going up. Wow. I have one client, he's just angry all the time with me, and there's like nothing I can do about it. The median home price has gone up dramatically. It's in the mid 3s, high 3s, closer to 400 now. Everything's going up. Gas has gone up. Food has gone up. The cost of living has gone up dramatically. Now, something that's positive is employers now know we gotta pay people more, because after the pandemic, people were like, we're not coming back to work unless you pay us. And so this is a good thing. We're not a cheap state anymore. It's not like, you know, going to some out, you know, like farther out rural area in Kentucky, which by the way, Kentucky is beautiful. And you know, the cost of living is lower and a home is lower. Florida has become very expensive. So it is not an inexpensive place to move. Another positive sidebar, we don't have state tax. So that is really nice. When I moved back home, I got a pay increase because I didn't have to pay all of that money out in state tax. We only pay federal tax. Now we get a little nickel and dimes. Tolls are expensive, this is expensive, but we do not pay that state tax, which is a positive. However, prices are definitely going up. So if that's an issue or something that you don't want to deal with, you might not want to move to Florida. And drum roll, please. Number one reason that you might consider not moving to Florida is the heat. I know everybody says it, but I mean the heat, it is hot here. Like, not right now. Today it's 80 degrees, the wind's blowing, it's beautiful. It's almost May, so we have a couple one-offs, but the summer's coming. And I promised myself when I moved back to Florida that I was no longer going to complain about the heat. So it's hard because I do not like the heat anymore. I like to be nice and cool and no hot. Some people love the heat. And I wish I was you because I'm living in a state that's hot a lot. It is Africa hot. It is rip your face off hot in the summertime. And another thing it is humid. Get keratin treatment, ladies, because your hair will be like this. It will stick out. And if you have curly hair, God did you a favor. Get that little curly hair going. You're lucky, lucky, lucky. But if you're not, if you're like me and it's a little curly, a little straight, flat iron, humidity. Anyway, it is hot. You have to be careful. Don't leave your dogs out in the backyard in July because they'll die. They literally fall over, go into seizures, and die of heat stroke. It is hot. It is Africa hot here. So that is something I always say this, and I'll say it again. If you're thinking about moving to Florida, come in August. And if you can hang, you're golden. You are golden. So one thing on a positive note is that because the humidity, it keeps the skin a little more moist. So that's the good news. But anyway, that is the number one reason why you really may not want to move to Florida is that there's also no seasons. So that's another thing. So today we were talking about 7 reasons why you should not move to Florida. But if that's not really what you're looking for, it's not really your jam, well, you have to let us know. You have to reach out and you have to let us know exactly what it is you're looking for. That's what my team are here and I are here to do. We're here to make your relocation process as smooth, seamless, and painless as humanly possible. So remember, if you're thinking about moving to Orlando or Central Florida in general, well then shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, however you wish to connect, because we got you covered when it comes to moving to Orlando and Central Florida, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.